Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited for you to watch this conversation with me and Daniel, aka VSG Dad Life. We talk about everything from bariatric surgery to parenting to skydiving, so stick around to see our full conversation.
Daniel, I'm 36, 37 now. I just turned 37 a few weeks ago. The surgery has been the big thing right now. I've lost over 260 pounds.
Gosh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It was rough for a little bit, but I mean, we're good now. I'm in maintenance mode or whatever. I will talk more whatever about that. So
Yeah.
um yeah, I'm just started content creating because of it. It's been a new avenue for me um to get my content out. I really didn't want I didn't want it out, my content out, until I had something, and I guess this is my thing now. So yeah.
That's awesome. Well, just
Yeah.
a little bit about me. I'm Shay. I had
Yeah.
my surgery just in March. And so, yeah, so I had my surgery. I have a background in like photography and videography. So I've done a lot with like portrait photography for a long time. And then after getting my surgery, it's like I didn't want to hide anymore. I didn't realize how much I was wanting to hide all the time. And then it was like, oh, I don't really want to hide anymore. I feel like I actually have something to offer. And so it's not because I've lost weight, it's just losing weight, and kind of the journey I've been on has just helped me see that. I'm just about 90 pounds. I've lost about 90 pounds since my highest weight. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That since March, that's great.
Yeah. So since December, technically, I count my
Okay.
highest weight,
Okay, yeah.
but
Yeah.
still, yeah. Yeah. It's like, but it's
Yeah,
like,
my
it's
my highest was a few months before. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I
it's
count
wild. Even just like
that.
90 pounds, though, that's hard for me to grasp my mind around. But you said, did you say how much did you
Two-
say you?
260
That
total
is
loss.
wild. Like that, do you like,
Yeah.
have you been able to grasp that, or is that still just like so wild to think
it,
about?
it it comes and goes. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'm just like, man, that's insane. Like I mean, it's more than I weigh now.
Yeah, it's
I
so
got rid of
wild.
more than me. Like I got rid of a whole person and some, and
Yeah.
like I got rid of two people if you count if a small person, like,
Right.
like, so I mean, it's insane. It's crazy.
That's wild. Well, I thought maybe since this is the first time we're meeting, we could
Yeah.
kick it off with a
Mhm.
little this or that. Have you ever played
Okay.
that before?
Yeah, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I know what
It's
you're
just
talking
kind of fun. I wrote down a couple things because I
about. Okay.
thought, oh, it's just kind of fun to see what people say. So
Yeah.
so this or that, sweet or savory, if you have to pick.
So usually savory, but I've been getting a sweet tooth lately.
Yeah, okay,
So
okay.
it comes and goes, but it's always savory for the most part.
Awesome. Awesome. Cats or dogs? This is
Dogs
an important one. Oh,
all
okay,
day.
we're gonna get along just fine.
Dogs all day.
We inherited two cats when my husband and I got married, and
Yeah.
it's like over the years we're like, man, we are so not cat people.
Yeah.
We've learned.
Yeah. We've I've never owned cats. I've
Uh,
known people that did, and I no, I don't like the way they jump on stuff. That's not my thing.
yeah,
Especially
they're
with
into
food and like kitchen counters. No, that's
yes, yes.
nasty. Sorry.
Well, right answer. I know we'll probably get some hate in the comments, but that's okay. I'm willing to take
Oh
it.
yeah, yeah. Come at us.
Um, Land, are you more of a land creature or water creature, would you say?
Ooh, that's hard
Mhm.
because I mean I've always been water, but
Mhm.
now that I've lost a lot of weight, I just want to do everything.
Yeah, it
Like
changes
I
it
want to
up,
be,
right?
yeah, like I want to do. There's only so much you can do in the water. There's a lot more you can do out on land.
It's true.
So yeah, I've always been water, but that can be changing.
Nice, nice. You're like a hybrid species now,
Yeah,
smack in the
yeah,
middle.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Are you a morning or night person?
Um, Night.
Night. You're more of
Yeah,
a night owl.
yeah. I
That's when you
don't.
come alive.
Yeah, my body doesn't get warmed up till like 8 p.m. and then I'm ready to go, and then my kids ready for bed, and then we're ready to chill and then go to bed. So
Nice.
it's it takes me a while, but I get through it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the last question, which is kind of an obvious one because of your YouTube channel name, but I was going to ask bypass or VSG?
VSG, yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Do you want to talk about kind of like why you chose that? I know I had specific reasons when I was kind of deciding between the two, but what made you decide?
Yeah, so I mean, I was kind of in between. I was, I mean, ultimately worried that the VSG wasn't going to be enough,
Mm-hmm.
because you see the statistics that, looking back at them now, they're actually not that different.
Mm-hmm.
Um, st- like just the plus or minus on them is about the same as the difference. So
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't need to worry about that back then. But I did, and I was on the fence. But the ultimately what got me into VSG was, or got me to do the VSG was, um, the absorption of the
Yeah.
nutrients. I didn't want to bypass some of my intestines. Actually, my grandmother had some colon cancer and some cancer in her intestines, and um, back when I was born, basically, she didn't think she was gonna live, and she lived till I was 30 something. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So, but they cut out a bunch of her intestines, and she was lived kind of a horrible life.
Hmm.
Just going to the restroom a lot, to be honest. I
Yeah.
mean, it's not. She got through. I mean, she lived a great life, but it was. I saw her struggle, and I didn't want to
Sure.
struggle with that. And she was on so much meds and everything, and I just, that fear stopped me ultimately from the bypass, the full bypass.
Yeah. Yeah, that was kind of the same for me too. I did tons of research of both options, but the main reason I wanted to get the surgery in the first place is because my husband and I have been trying for kiddos, or had been trying for kiddos for 3 or 4 years. It just wasn't happening. I had like a bunch of metabolic issues and stuff that was preventing that. And so my ultimate goal is to have babies, be able to breastfeed and do all of that. And so I liked the idea of the absorption, and it's kind of like you could take it a plus or a minus. I think there was kind of that initial fear, which maybe was the same for you, of like, oh no, my stomach's gonna like expand again, and like I'm gonna fail because I've failed at everything else I've tried, and those self
Yeah.
doubt and self-punishing thoughts coming in. But that's also kind of a benefit of like, oh, that is kind of nice that my stomach can stretch out, so when I need to eat more food during pregnancy or breastfeeding, I'll have that option, which is nice. So
And I've heard different things. Yeah, it stretches out, whatever, but it's not that much. It's just
yeah.
what we eat. It's
Yeah,
it's I start eating differently, I think.
totally.
So
Well,
that's my opinion. Yeah.
speaking of eating, are you ready to try Daniel's famous pizza
Oh yes,
meatballs? I added the
I
famous
am.
part in there because they're going to be legendary after this. So I have my little.
Yeah, I actually have not tried it, but my family has, and they all loved
Oh,
it. So
so you have to tell me what toppings you put on first, because I kept it open ended because everybody
yeah,
likes different pizza toppings. So what did you put on yours?
I went pretty basic. I just did pepperoni and mushrooms.
Yum, classic.
Yeah, that's what. It's a fun, kind of stupid story, but
Yeah.
funny story. Me and my wife, she, we agreed on pepperoni and mushrooms, and we fell in love. So like
And
it's just like,
that's the
those are
compromise.
our
Like you guys
toppings.
both like it and you get it every time.
Yeah, that's what we get every
Uh,
time. So
uh,
yeah, that's what we put on
awesome.
there.
Yep, I
Yeah.
did this. I did pepperonis, mushrooms. The only thing I added in addition to yours, I did some red onions and bell pepper. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All
Cool.
right. So we have to do a virtual dink it and sink it. Do you know what that
Okay.
is?
Yes.
So right, we got to dink
Ready.
it
Think
and then sink it.
it's good. They're very good.
What'd your family think? They're the true test.
My kid
especially
loved it.
Lucas, right? Like,
Yeah,
how old is
Lucas,
Lucas?
he's 5. He's 5.
5. So they're I love how brutal Leonis kids are. So I won't be offended. What did he think?
My kid is the most honest too.
Yeah.
He loved it. He
Oh,
loved it.
good.
He didn't want
Starting
to
to
eat
sweat
them.
over here.
He was just being weird today. Because he's usually pretty adventurous about eating. We
Mhm.
make him try, well, not make him, but
Encourage.
encourage him to try everything. Um, but yeah, he loved them. And the
Good.
wife loved them. She thought they were good and juicy, and yeah, if you don't mind,
Awesome.
take another.
Yeah, go for it.
But
Yeah, it's funny. I was trying to find I couldn't find ground pork anywhere. It's like that it seems like that's usually everywhere. So I got pork chops instead and I
okay.
put them in my food processor to try to like grind them up. And I did, but I think I blew up or not blew up,
Oh
but
no.
like blew out
Burnt up.
the motor to it. It was like
Yeah.
working too hard. I'm like, oh
Oh no.
no.
Yeah,
So word
luckily
to the wise, try to find ground pork and if not, then I don't know.
I found some. Luckily,
That's good.
it was hidden under some turkey, ground turkey.
Oh,
So
maybe I
like it
didn't
was,
look good enough.
but I went to HEB, which is a
Mhm.
store that's big in Texas. It's in San
Yeah.
Antonio, where I grew up, but I haven't been there in about 20 years. So
Uh-huh.
um I they built one up here and we've been going there. So that's part of my other video, but I was luckily able to find the ground.
Nice.
So
I've seen other people post about HEB. We don't have those. I live in Southern
yeah,
Oregon,
yeah,
so we don't
they
have
the
them,
far
but
north, they didn't even go as far north as Dallas. So
oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, it was Central Texas and maybe I think like Louisiana, but
Okay.
I think that's it. So
I have to ask you, are you close by to Buc-ee's anywhere in Texas? Do you have a Buc-ee's that's close to you?
I am very close to a Buc-ee's. We
Oh,
To go into Dallas, we pass by a Buc-ee's every single time.
that's
Um,
awesome.
so if I have to go if I do anything, if I leave my house, I'm passing by Buc-ee's basically.
Buc-ee's is incredible. Can you explain what Buc-ee's is to people who have no idea what we're talking about?
Oh man, so it's just
It's hard
like
to
the
describe.
biggest convenience store you've ever been in.
It's like the Costco of gas stations almost and convenience
Yes,
stores. Yeah.
but yes, but it's like a general store on one side
Mhm.
and then a convenience store on the other side, but it's huge. Think like Walmart size,
Mhm.
like a mini Walmart. I don't know if you've seen, like, I don't know what you're in Oregon, right?
Yeah, well, the
Okay.
reason I was asking is because I had a friend who lived in Austin for a little while,
Okay.
so we went and visited, and she was like she had heard about it. She's like, "Let's go check it out," and we were all just like, "What is this
Yeah.
place? This is so fun."
Yeah. It's not millions, but a bunch
It
of pumps.
feels like it.
The pumps, there's rows and rows of pumps.
Yep.
Cleanest bathrooms you will ever go to.
And they're like high tech. I don't know if the one by you is like this, but like they have little lights on them where it shows like if it's
Yeah,
open or it's like
yeah.
green or
It's
red.
a full stall, everything, and
Yeah, the technology.
sanitizer to clean the toilet.
I
And
know. It's
it's
insane.
insane.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we got these fun tie-dye shirts with Buc-ee, the classic Buc-ee the
Yep.
beaver on them.
Yeah,
And
we've
yeah.
got a few because yeah, we have family that we pick up gifts for them now
Oh
from
yeah.
Bucky's because it's so much easier.
Yeah, yeah, no. So if you guys are in the Texas area at all, I think are they only in Texas or they've kind of spread out a little bit, I
Yeah,
think.
they've gone east, I think, like
Got it.
Louisiana, Alabama, I think maybe even to Georgia. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Well, if you guys have a chance, I highly recommend
Yeah,
Buc-ee's. It's a fun
definitely.
experience. So when did you get your surgery? Sorry if you already said this, but
Okay.
how long has it been?
It's we're getting close to 2 years, so January
Awesome.
21.
That's awesome. So man, almost 2 years. And what like taking yourself back to when you had made the decision to do it, like you were getting ready for surgery. Who was more nervous? Was it you or your wife, or were you guys both nervous or not nervous? Like what was the dynamic there for you guys?
It was for sure my wife. I was ready. So
Same.
I
Yeah.
before I even told her I had been thinking about it. I mean, I've been thinking about it since I was 18. Like, I mean, my
Wow.
parents,
Mhm.
yeah, since I wanted to get it, but I mean, insurance and money and
Sure.
stuff didn't line up, and and I always thought I could do it myself.
Right. That
Um,
pride piece, or that's how I
yeah.
what I call it in my journey is more of
Oh
that
yeah.
pride, you know?
It for sure is pride. Yeah, I mean, you just wanted to get it done, and other people can do it, why can't I? So,
Right,
I
right.
mean, I like to succeed at everything that I do. So, when
Well,
I fail badly,
and
and
that's what's so interesting about like weight loss in general. I've found that with a lot of people. It's like people who maybe struggle with excess weight a lot of times are really determined people, like, have
oh
gone
yeah,
to schooling for a long time or are really high up in their careers or are really great parents or whatever you define success as. They're typically really successful people. And I think that's why for me, it always felt so defeating because it's like I can be successful in all these areas in my life except this one. And this is the one that's so important to me. Why can't I be successful? Something obviously is wrong with me. And that's not the case, but
yeah,
it's a defeating
obviously not.
feeling, you know?
It really is. It really is. And yeah, and it's totally not the case. I mean, I needed the surgery to help me reset my mind, to be honest. Like,
Right.
it wasn't, I mean, yes, it's helped, but those months of the full restriction and everything, it helped me to get right first in here,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I needed. That's what I needed, that little boost to
Mm-hmm.
help me get right in the head, I think. But
Well, it forces you to connect your mind and heart with your body. Like for
yeah,
so many years of my life, I was just kind of a floating head. Like I had, my mind and stuff, but it was so disconnected to my body. But when you have over half of your stomach taken out, like you're forced to kind of go, what is my body trying to tell me? I have no freaking idea, at first, right? And kind of
yes.
lead into those. So it's just a way of like bridging the gap out of necessity.
Yeah, it is. It is. And it's a great bridge. It's a very strong,
Yeah.
very good bridge, and it helps very much. And I'm just so happy that I did it.
Yeah. So Becca was more nervous than you were. That's how it was with
Oh
me and
yeah, yeah.
Dylan. Like I was ready. Dylan was definitely a bit more apprehensive about it. And even I just recently talked about my journey and when we were watching it together, he's like, man, that just like gives me anxiety going back there. Like it was just such a hard time for him mentally. Um,
Yeah.
what did the process look like after you got the surgery? Like what was kind of like in the beginning stages the hardest parts and like the best parts for you?
Oh man, there was a bunch of hard parts in the
Right.
beginning. Just the full on, you can't eat anymore.
Yeah.
That's one big thing. I mean, that's part of my thing was coping with food.
Mhm,
So that's, you lose that immediately.
mhm.
Um, then there's also just the physical aspects. There's the constipation. There's
Oh
the
gosh,
there's
right? Miralax was my best friend for like the first month or two.
yeah, yeah. I have, yeah, there's I have some stories, but we'll get to, we won't talk about that. We're eating. I mean, I had some issues with dehydration,
Yeah.
that I I struggle with getting my fluids in anyways,
Hmm.
and then now you can't gulp, and that's the
Right.
only way I used to drink, was just downing something.
Hmm.
Um so this is kind of a good and a bad. So it
Hmm.
starts out bad. I passed out because I was taking blood pressure medicine.
Hmm.
It was only a couple months. It was, I think, like 3 weeks after the surgery. Like, everything just dropped because I was completely just stopped.
Yeah, it's weird how
And
some of
eating stuff.
the metabolic, or I don't know if that's technically metabolic, but yeah, how some of
I
that
don't know
changes so
what whatever.
quickly.
It
But
just changes very
for me, it was
quickly.
my thyroid. I was on thyroid meds, and then it was like same thing. I think like 3, 4 weeks after, it was like, oh, I can't take this anymore, which is good.
Yeah, yeah. I was
Yeah.
getting dizzy and I was doing fine. Like, I would get up whenever I just get up and walk. I would get dizzy and just stop and I was fine, but there was just one time where I just got up and I thought I was fine and it was a delayed onset and then bam, I fell on the floor.
Oh man.
Luckily I didn't hit anything, didn't hurt anything. I joke with my wife, I'm glad I got the experience. It was kind of cool. Like now I know what it feels like.
To pass out.
Yeah. Um, just joking around. I know it's not healthy. Like, don't take advice from me.
But well, I've never passed out before, so I kind of
Yeah.
understand it. It's like I do kind of wonder, like, what does it feel
Yeah,
like?
what
Or,
does it feel like? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so
Uh,
now I know, now we're good.
yeah,
So
you don't have to do
we
it
don't have
again.
to
One
do
and
that
done.
again. But immediately stopped taking my blood pressure medicine that day. So yeah, that was probably the quickest um result and thing that
Mhm.
made me feel better. Off and on energy, because I mean when early days you're not eating that much.
Mhm.
So sometimes you're like dead, but sometimes you get a good amount, enough for you and more than the past week, and you're just like you feel like a new person.
Yeah.
But the energy does come a little bit later, a little
Mhm.
bit more once you
Mhm.
get the solid foods in and stuff. But early on, yeah, that was my biggest one.
Yeah, that's what I had a hard time with too, is because before getting my surgery, I was on a journey of more like like intuitive eating, learning my body cues, like what my body was craving and why, and all of that. And so after surgery, I it was probably about 3 months in, my program recommended waiting 6 months before incorporating carbs back in, like non-veggie carbs. But man, 3 months post-op, I was like just such low energy. And so I slowly started incorporating like sweet potatoes in, kind of more starches. I just kind of slowly incorporated them. For me, that was the right choice. But how was it like with your program guidelines? Were you one that like you stuck to it like very adamantly, or did you kind of do it more intuitively? I'm just curious. I just find it interesting how different
Yeah.
people do it.
So my doctor in particular, he's kind of on the more chill side. He's
Mhm.
he's big on Insta too. He's Dr. Joe Cribbins, one opportunity changes life.
Yeah, he has
Yep.
the corgi.
Yeah, he's the one with the corgi.
We have
Yeah,
two corgis, so we fought. What's the
yeah,
corgi's name?
yeah,
I'm forgetting
yeah.
it right now. I can't remember, but yes, Marty the corgi.
Marty. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Marty the Office. Yeah, so that's actually my doctor. So
Nice.
he's pretty chill. I think it was kind of like a veggies thing for 6 months and then incorporating like the simple carbs or like
Mhm,
the starches and the breads and the potatoes and stuff like that.
mhm,
I kind of I don't know if I kind of extended it. I don't know. I mean, I was adding stuff in all the
mhm.
time. Like I didn't really keep track of when I actually went into these stages, I
Kinda just
guess.
happened naturally for you, like
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it was about 6 months or so when I did start adding the starches. So I did do kind of a keto
mhm,
type diet with just the veggies and meats and cheeses. And then 6 months in, the breads and just a little bit. Like I still can't hardly eat any bread.
got it.
um so it just fills me up. It was about a year ago when I actually really started adding sweets. So
Mhm,
I was about 8 to 10 months in before I had any type of sugar at all.
sure.
The holidays came and I started eating cookies. So
Yeah, there you go. Natural
but
transition.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, yeah, I had a stall. You could
Uh-huh.
call it a stall. It was
Sure.
a gain. It was a and I lost track for a little bit. I brought it back down and now I feel like I've gotten a little bit better maintaining that balance of everything,
Mhm,
to having a little bit of sweets but I always have my meat first, protein first. I always
right.
eat that. I always make sure I have that. Halloween was yesterday, so
Yeah.
or 2 days ago,
Uh-huh.
so it felt like yesterday. It was very busy for us.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I've had some Halloween candy, so I mean,
Sure.
I've maintained a pretty good balance now.
Yeah. Well, I think that, for so long I had my worth wrapped into how I performed in a lot of different ways, but specifically around how I ate or what I did or didn't do, and kind of using that language of like, oh, I did good today or I did bad today, depending on what I ate. And it's
Yeah,
just been helpful to kind of go, I'm not like good or bad depending on what I eat. Certain foods make my body feel better than others, but also too, I think, at least for me, I wasn't really taught that like depending on environmental things or what our body's doing, our body needs different things at different times, and that's okay, right? Like this, it's been interesting from going to summer to fall, that transition period, it's been rough. Like my body has just been kind of like dysregulated, not knowing like what it's wanting. And so even stuff like that I never noticed before, I noticed a lot more this year in that transition of like, oh, my appetite is just weird, I don't know what I want. And so it's just interesting, I don't know, looking at it a different way.
yeah, and to be honest, like for me, the past 2 years, it's changing too. Still, like my
Hmm.
appetite is changing, and my desires and the type of food that I want is changing. What's gonna hit the spot for me is 6 months ago doesn't anymore.
Right.
I have a video that I was snacking on cinnamon toast crunch. Since then, it's a few weeks later, I just kind of slowed down, and I haven't really ate as much anymore.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just a transition type thing, like you said, with the seasons, with the everything, just life, everything changing. You can't beat yourself up on the little things. You just, I mean, I still do it. I still
Yeah.
do it myself.
It's hard. It's again, it's
I'll
like
try
when,
to take my own advice, but
and when you've spent so, or for me, I spent so much of my life, again, I know I've said this already, but like having my worth tied up
yeah,
into what I did or didn't do. So it's a hard pattern to kind of adjust and change. And it's like, it's not something that can just be on and off switch. It takes time to kind of practice it in different ways and go, hey, I didn't, before I would have really beat myself up over that, and I didn't. That's cool. That's cool progress. It's incremental, and that's okay. I'm curious too, since you're a dad, how, or I know from my experience, I just wasn't really taught about like nutrition growing up as a kid. I didn't really, we had a lot of processed foods, and it's, my parents did the best they could with the information that they had, so it's not like a judgment or a blame in that way, but I just wasn't really taught that. And so I'm curious, from your perspective, being a dad and kind of having the journey you've had, how do you approach that with your son now, like with talking about nutrition or fueling your body, like just things like that? I'm just curious on the approach you and your wife take.
we try to give him a balance, I guess. I mean, we try to cook dinner almost every day at home.
Mhm.
We have a cooked meal at home, and we eat dinner together as a family almost every day. Sometimes we can't, we're busy.
Sure.
The big thing, I guess, kind of the way I was brought up and the way I'm kind of trying to transition and switch the narrative with him is to finish your plate. You have to finish this in order to get the dessert. You have to finish your full meal in order to get what you actually want. That was ingrained in me like hard. And
Mhm.
I was the type of kid that I followed the rules, and he's the same way. So
Mhm.
I made myself, and then you start making yourself, and you keep making yourself, and
It's easier to just
it's
ignore
easier to
body
do it.
cues and yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
We try to tell him, so eat a bite of the meat, a bite of the veggies. Make sure he gets some nourishment, obviously,
Sure.
and then he can have a little bit of dessert. And to be honest, that's all he wants. He just wants a little bit of
Yeah.
everything.
Because it's not this forbidden fruit, right?
Yeah,
It's like it's
it's
not
not.
this, oh, you can't have it, that's gonna
Exactly.
make you want it more.
Exactly. And then he's not stuffing his face to finish
Mhm.
the food and then stuffing his face more so he can get this other thing.
Mhm.
He's full with the combination of all of it.
Right. Right.
And I just feel like that's a more healthy way of eating.
Yeah.
um and so we don't push him to finish his food. He is a
Mhm.
little bit picky,
Mhm.
but we do encourage him to take a bite of everything
Mhm.
in every meal, and he usually does. And he's eating, he eats veggies, he loves cauliflower and broccoli.
Mhm.
He ate asparagus. I made some asparagus too with our
Nice.
dinner. He eats
Yeah.
enough. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's thriving, he's healthy. To be honest, he was a little bit chunky before I started my journey, and
Mhm.
before I realized what I was doing and the way I was pushing
Sure.
maybe a little bit further than I should have on him, um, and making him eat more in order to get what he actually wanted. And since then, he's been doing great. Yeah, he's stretched out. He's huge for his age. He's gonna be giant.
Mhm.
My brother-in-law's 6'7", I'm 6'2", and my wife's pretty tall, so he's gonna be pretty tall. He's he towers over all the little kids. He goes up and hugs his friends, and he's just like hunched over. He's so, yeah, he's thriving. He's awesome.
That's awesome. And I just have to say, I love and respect the humility in what you just said with that, where it's like, I think as parents, or I've just seen parents that can carry a lot of shame of like, oh man, I didn't do it right with my kids. And so I have to just kind of dig my heels in and just go with it because it's the decision I made. And it's like, it's just cool that you're even showing him by example of like, oh man, I didn't realize that maybe wasn't the best choice. I'm adjusting it now for my own life to help you with it. And it's okay that I'm learning, I think that's so cool.
Yeah, I feel that's a big thing for kids. I mean, growing up, I thought my parents could do no wrong. I didn't know they were
Right.
human. Like,
Yeah. What is
you make
what?
mistakes. Like, y'all make mistakes. I didn't know that.
Your
And then
people?
it's a harsh realization when
Mhm,
you're growing up sometimes
mhm,
if you don't know that.
mhm.
So yeah, I want him to know that yeah, we're learning too,
Right.
and he's got to learn, like that he's gonna learn all his life, so
Mhm.
might as well lead by example.
Yeah, I love that. That's so well said. And there's so much from kids that we can learn, especially when it comes to food. I can't remember where I heard this from, talking about how a lot of times it's helpful to measure kids in like what they eat on more of a weekly basis instead of a daily basis, because it's like a lot of times they're so in tune with their body because they don't know any different until adults come and kind of ruin that, but they learn what they need and when. And it's funny because just from learning that a bit more with myself, it's so true. It's like some days I'm hungrier and I need more food, and other days that's not the case. And so they just have a lot, I think, that they can teach us when it comes to that. They actually are born pretty well equipped for it. We're the ones that corrupt them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To be honest, I mean, based on my personal experience and what I see with him and my wife's experience, I feel that that is exactly full on the case.
Mhm.
Kids know, I mean, they know what they need to eat when they need to eat it. We just need to give them the right choices at the right time.
Right.
But we don't need to be pushing stuff on them because if they're full, they're full. They're not, they don't need to eat more because they're full. They know they're full.
Mhm.
It hurts sometimes. I mean, it's a feeling in your stomach that is discomfort. I mean, it's meant
Yeah.
to be discomfort. So they know when they're full. So pushing this stuff on them is not going to be helpful. And yeah, that I learned that
Mhm.
through getting a baby tummy and
Yeah,
seeing
right?
the same thing happen to my son.
Your tummy was probably the
In the
size
way
of
he
his at one point.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
So, we are basically now we eat the same meals.
Uh-huh.
So, he eats like a half a sandwich. That's the max he'll eat. That's what I eat, and a
Mhm.
couple chip. Like he won't even he leaves stuff around, which is fine.
Mhm.
It's not wasteful because he's eating healthy. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I love that. Well, the last kind of question I have that I usually ask people just because I don't know, I'm curious. I've done a lot of learning and I just have found like adverse childhood experiences and trauma and things like that really interesting. So I always like to ask people if you could look at Daniel as a kiddo, maybe your son's age, and kind of and look at him in his face and just kind of cup his face, what would you say to little Daniel?
Just hold on. Just hold on. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna end up being better. Just be happy. Just try to make the best of everything while you can, because putting yourself down, I guess, for things, little things, in the long run is not going to be good for you. So just, I don't know, just little things, little interactions with people, stuff like that. Just everything's gonna be all right. Don't worry about it so much. Just don't worry. That's what I would tell him. Don't worry, because
Oh,
little Daniel was a worrier.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So everything is VSG Dad Life. So I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter now. I changed
Nice.
that over.
YouTube.
TikTok. I do have YouTube, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's all VSG Dad Life on everything. Most active on Instagram and YouTube, but I do keep everything pretty up to date. I wanna talk to everybody. I wanna get to know everybody. Talk to me, hang out. Let's hang out on all the socials. We'll hang out on your channel and
Yeah. One
well,
thing I saw on your video that I may have to, or on one of your videos, and I was thinking about it. So it has been one of my biggest fears to go skydiving. Like I've never wanted to do that. But in one of your videos, I don't remember the context of it, but you said something about that you would be willing to skydive. And I was like, I wonder, would you still, are you still willing to skydive?
okay, so
You're like,
in the video,
retract.
I was like, in the video, I said, if somebody pays for it, I'll do it. Because I'm
Okay.
not paying to jump out of a plane.
Well, that might
I,
need to be,
I don't know. I still don't know. I will stick with that for now.
okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you watched another one of my videos. I didn't even want to do a one of the, it's just a drop carnival ride. I was
Mhm.
too I chickened out for that. So um
Well, I see, like, and I don't know why I'm even saying this because literally you could ask my husband, like, the thought of skydiving makes me want to throw up. Like, it's not
yeah.
ever something I've wanted to do, but for some reason, when you said it, I'm like, maybe it's just for the, for the gram, as the kids say, but it's like, I'd skydive with you if you wanted. If it was for content creation purposes, I would consider it.
Maybe if we get a million subscribers or out of this.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe once we get a certain
A
amount,
million
we'll
subscriber
skydive.
video. Yeah, that'd be
Oh, why
awesome.
am I saying this? I'm like, my palms are sweating just thinking
I know,
about
I'm over here shaking. It's cold. I'm over here shivering and like, oh, it's getting to me. It's making me nervous here.
Well, how about we make an agreement if our channels combined get a million subscribers,
Okay,
we'll skydive.
that's fair. That's fair.
Okay.
That's fair. Because
That
to
seems
be
like a
honest,
ways away
I feel
anyway.
like that's a ways away
Yeah.
for me at least. So
So
that's
it's
fair.
we can rest in the safety that it'll be a while,
Yeah.
but we are making an agreement here if our
Yeah.
channels get to a million
This is a
combined.
legally binding contract because it's
Yes,
on
I think
YouTube now.
so. It's
Yeah,
signed with
once
a
it's on
meatball.
YouTube. Yeah, exactly.
Well, you heard it here first. If you want to see me and Daniel skydive, you have to subscribe to our channels. It really supports us, and we're really appreciative of that. I just want to give a huge shout out to Daniel. Thank you so much for being on my channel and for doing this fun collab with me. I'm hoping we can do more in the future. And yeah, thanks everybody for joining. I'll see you in my next video.